Hello and welcome to this new video, and in this video I have a tutorial for you, and I'm gonna show you in this tutorial how you can make this beautiful easy to crochet blanket. And I call this blanket the Granny on Terrazzo blanket. Why? Well, that's easy, because I used the Terrazzo yarn by Scheepjes, a lovely tweed yarn, a little bit felted, so you have to be careful using this yarn, but it gives so much fun to make the squares and really to make this whole blanket. And yeah, we use the granny corner to corner stitch, so that's why I call this blanket the Granny on Terrazzo blanket. It's so much fun to make, and you can use as much as you want with colors, with yarns. You can do whatever you like, but I used for this blanket the complete color pack of Terrazzo by Scheepjes. All 60 colors are included in this color pack, so I used all 60 colors to make the squares of this blanket. And besides that, I used 15 whole skeins of Terrazzo, and I made 5 color choices because we make 60 squares in this blanket, and I just ordered them all around. And like you see in the color pack, there are a little bit like groups in there. Well, I placed them also in groups, and that made 5 groups of grannies for my blanket, and each group gets his own color around. Like you can see in this square, for example, you see a yellow border around it, and the square next to it has a red border around it. And I used 5 different colors like that to make a border around the group. And then the second border, I used this Pergamena 745 as main color, and each square gets a border of that too, and it's also included in the border around the whole blanket, just a simple linen stitch border, which gives a nice effect. For each color group I used 1 skein of Terrazzo, and for my main color, this one, I used 6 skeins. And for the joining and the first border around the whole blanket, I used this dark color, and I used for that color 3 skeins. So in total I used 15 skeins of Terrazzo. Ooh, and now I'm throwing it on the floor. But in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can make the granny corner to corner squares. So we're not making a square in the round, but we're going back and forth, and that gives you a lot of opportunities, because you can make the square as big or as small as you want, and I'm showing you that in this tutorial video. And of course all the other steps I'm going to show you in this video, and in the description box down below you find easy links where you can shop for the yarn. It can be an affiliate link, so you give me a little support for making this kinds of videos. So thank you if you're using my my link, but if you don't want to use it, it doesn't matter. It's just making it a little bit easier for you to shop, and it's a little support for me, so feel free to use that. And I think it's time now to start to make this lovely Granny on the Terrazzo blanket. So grab your crochet hook, 3.5 millimeters, and your yarn, and let's start making this beautiful blanket. Time to start our squares, our granny squares. just grab the yarn and make a loop, a slip knot on your yarn and place the loop on your hook. And begin with a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to close this chain 4 into a ring, and we're doing that by insert our hook in the first made chain stitch, yarn over, pull through and pull through. So with a slip stitch we're closing our chain into a ring, and if you pull it a little you can see that there is an opening in the middle of it, and in that opening we're going to crochet our new stitches. If you don't like it to use this way of making a ring, you can also use a magic loop. But be aware, if you use a magic loop you have to weave in your end very tightly, because if you don't do that you have the risk that your magic loop will open again and you're gonna lose all your stitches, and you don't want that. So in this case I'm choosing to use the chain 4 and form them into a ring. Okay, when you make your ring we start with row 1, and for row 1 we start with a chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now we're going to crochet into our ring, and we're making 3 double crochets in the ring. So this is 1, 2, and 3. And we're closing our row by making an extended double crochet. It's just a double crochet but with an extra loop. So just yarn over like you're going to use for a double crochet, insert in a ring, pull up your loop, so you've got 3, and normally you just yarn over and pull through 2, but for an extended double crochet you just yarn over, pull through 1, and now just crochet like you always do for a double crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. This is row 1, and now we are ready for row 2. And this is the repeat for the rest of the square. So this row is the same for each and every row that follows this second row. So start with a chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and turn your work. When you look at your work, you've got here the chain 4 that we're started our previous row with. Here is a group of 3 double crochets, our granny cluster, and here at this row, at this edge you've got the extended double crochet, which was the last stitch of our previous row. Our chain 4 comes from that extended double crochet, and if you hold that one and grab your granny cluster and pull it a little away from each other, you can see there's a gap between them. In that space we're going to crochet a new granny cluster, which is 3 double crochets. So it's not in the stitch, it's below the stitch, in the space between the extended double and the first double crochet of the granny cluster. So in between, crochet 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then skip this whole cluster. So those 3 double crochets you're gonna skip, and we're at the end of the row now. So just pull your work a little like this, so you've got a space here too, and in that space crochet 3 double crochets. So another granny cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Now you've made an increase. We start with 1 granny cluster, and in this row we've got 2 granny clusters. And we're at the end of the row, which means we're going to end it with an extended double crochet in the top of our chain 4 from the previous row. So at the top, just make another extended double crochet, which is a little hard to do. Just take your time. So an extended one, so yarn over, pull through 1, and now make your double crochet. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, and you've made your extended double crochet. And that's row 2, and this row you're going to repeat for the next rows. My square is made out of 10 granny clusters, so 10 of those groups. So just repeat this row over and over again until you've got 10 groups of granny clusters. If you want your square bigger, then repeat that row as long as you want. So if you want to make it up to 20, just repeat that row until you've got 20 cluster groups. If you want to make it smaller, then just repeat 9, 8, 7 times until you've got 7, 8, 9 granny clusters. I'm going to show you the repeat one more time. Another row to repeat for the increases. So we start with a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn your work. Here's your granny group, and here's your extended double crochet from the previous row. Just pull them a little away and start crocheting in that space between your extended and first double crochet. So not in the stitch, because in that stitch you made the chain 4. Just a little below that stitch, in the space, you're going to crochet 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Skip the next cluster, so skip the next 3 double crochets, and here you've got the space between those 2 groups of double crochets. In that space, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Repeat that for each and every space you've got until you got 1 cluster left. Skip that cluster. Then you've got here your chain 4 from the previous row, and in that space make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then to end your row, at the top of the chain 4, make an extended double crochet. So insert at the top, first through 1 and then through 2 to make your extended double crochet. And as you can see, you increased with a granny group. So we started with 1, then we got 2, and now we've got 3. Repeat this until you've got the amount of groups that you want, and when you're done with that, it's time to decrease, and that's the next step I'm going to show you. You've got all your groups and your square is at its biggest point, then it's time to decrease. In my case, I've made squares from 10 groups of granny clusters diagonally, and now in the next row I'm going to decrease to 9 groups, and after that to 8, 7, 6 and so on. And for the decreases you're doing the same thing the whole time. Now we start with a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, so not 4 but 3. Turn your work, skip the first cluster, and in the next space between 2 clusters you make your first group of 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Like this. Skip the first, and in that first space make 3 double crochets. Then in the next space 3 double crochets, and repeat that until the end of the row when there are no spaces left. Well, like this. Now you've got just 1 cluster left from the previous row and your chain 4 from the previous row. And as you can see, here I've got 1, 2, 3 clusters, and now I've got 1 and 2, which means I decreased 1 cluster group. We're at the end of the row now, and we're going to finish our row by making an extended double crochet at the top of your chain 4 from the previous row. So at the top of the chain 4 you make an extended double crochet. Eerst through 1 and then through 2, yarn over through 2. And if you look at your square now, or your triangle, here is the widest point of your triangle, and you're going to form it into a square now. Here you've got a long side, and at the bottom you've got a long side, and now you're going to create a new side here at the top, and here on this side you're going to create also a right side to form your triangle into a square. And that's what's happening by decreasing your rows now. So the next row is also going to be decreasing. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, skip this space and your granny cluster, and in the next space between 2 clusters make a new one. So 3 double crochets in that space. 2 and 3. And end your row by making an extended double crochet at the top of the beginning chain from your previous row. So just an extended double crochet at the top. And that's how you decrease the whole triangle into a square. And as you can see, this was our our last group of 3 double crochets, our last cluster stitch, but it's not a square. So what do you have to do to make it into a square? Well, chain 1, turn your work and make a double crochet at the top of the chain 3 from your previous row. So skip the cluster and in the top of the chain make a double crochet. So not an extended one, just a regular double crochet. Like that. And then just fasten off. And your square is done. I've got a new color of yarn on my hook and I'm ready to start the first border around our square. And I like it to work over my yarn tails so I don't have to sew them away. Of course, do what you like. If you want to work away your yarn tails first and then start a new row, feel free to do so, but this is how I like to do it. In this new row, we're starting in any corner. And I'm starting here at the beginning. Our ring that we've made at the start of our square, which is here in a corner. And I'm starting with a slip knot or slip stitch in that ring and chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. So that's the start for our new corner. Just grabbing my yarn so I can work over it. And in that same space make 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Followed by a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That makes our new corner space. And in the same space as the other 3 double crochets, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. So 3 double crochets in the same space without splitting your yarn. See? Then you got a new corner made. Then on all sides you've got the spaces, and in all those spaces make 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Jump over to the next space, make 3 doubles in there also. 1, 2 and 3, and do that in each and every space on the sides of your square until you reached the next corner space, which is here. This one is a little hard to see, but if you pull it a little, then you see there is your corner space. In there make 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3, followed by a chain 3. 1, 2 and 3 to make a new corner space. And in that same space here make another 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. And then in this side also, in every corner space make 3 double crochets. When you're arriving here at our corner, make 3 double crochets, chain 3 and 3 double crochets in that corner space, and in all the spaces after that, make 3 double crochets. Repeat that all around, and when you're at the end, then end your row by making a slip stitch at the top of your chain 3, your beginning chain 3. Cut your yarn and work away your yarn tails, and then you're ready for row 2. Border row 2 for our squares. I've got a new color of yarn on my hook, and choose any corner to attach your new color by making a slip stitch in the corner. So insert your hook, pull up the loop and pull it through the loop on your hook. Then your yarn is attached. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, that stands for our first double crochet, and in that same chain space make 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2, followed by a chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and in that same chain space, so here in that corner space, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3, and then you create your new corner. Skip the next stitch, which is the first stitch after our corner, and that could be a little hidden, as you can see. We'll skip that one, and in the next stitch a double crochet, and all the other stitches getting a double crochet. So the remaining stitches on your side all gets a double crochet. So no skipping, just give every stitch on this side a double crochet until you reached the next chain space, our next corner chain space, and in that corner chain space, I'm there now, in that corner space make 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, followed by a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and in that same corner space make 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Now skip the next stitch, and in the next stitch and all of the other stitches crochet a double crochet, and that's the repeat all around your square. So in the corner space 3 doubles, chain 3, 3 doubles to make a new corner, then skip the first stitch, which would be a little hidden, and in each and every other stitch on that side make a double crochet until you reached the next corner, then 3 doubles, chain 3, 3 doubles in that corner space, and do that all around, and end your row by making a slip stitch in the chain 3 at the top of the chain 3, the beginning chain 3, and work away your yarn tails. Just cut your yarn off and work away all your yarn tails, and that's how you make all the squares. So do that, take your time, enjoy the process, and when you're done with making all your squares, it is time to join them. When you're ready and you've made all your squares, it's time to attach them together, to seam them together, and that's going to be done with a join as you go method. I'm using double crochets to join all my squares because The whole square is built up with double crochets also in the square itself, in the border rows. All we use are double crochets, so that's why I liked being used double crochets to join our squares together. And I'm going to show you that by making use of two different colors. In my original design of this blanket I used black to join my squares, but black is very difficult to film. For this explanation, for this example, I'm using two different colors to show you what I'm doing to join our squares. I've got my joining yarn on my hook, and we're going to attach our yarn by making a standing double crochet. So, how do you do that? You've got your yarn on your hook, just yarn over and hold that with your finger. You've got a front square and a back square, and we're going to join those two together. In our front square we're making our double crochets and we're attaching them to our back square. So, standing double crochet, yarn over, hold it and insert your hook here at the chain space of the corner. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, and I'm holding this beginning tail and pull through two. And this is our standing double crochet. Okay. Now, to attach our back square to this one, just pull your loop open, get your hook out and insert your hook in the chain space of your back square. Just scoop it up like that. The square is on your hook now. Put the loop back on your hook and pull it a little tight so the loop is closing, and pull it through the chain space from your back square, and now they are attached. We're going back to our front square. In the next stitch make a double crochet, then pull the loop open, get your hook out and insert your hook at the next stitch from your back square. Place the loop back on your hook and pull it through to attach the back stitch on the front. Then in the front make a double crochet in the next stitch, pull your loop up, hook out, insert in the next stitch of the back square, place the loop back on your hook, tighten it and pull through, and make a double crochet in your front square. Pull your loop, hook out, back square, insert in the next stitch, place the loop back on your hook, tighten it and pull it through. And that's how you attach both squares together. And as you can see, you get a nice white band border between your squares. When you attached every stitch to each other from your squares, it's time to attach the next two squares. in your blanket. And we're doing that on the same way we're doing it with these squares, but to jump over, first make a chain 1. Then again your front square in the chain space, make a double crochet, pull up your loop and grab your back square by insert your hook in the chain space. Place the loop back on your hook and pull it through the back. And now they're attached also. And just continue doing what you've done in the previous squares. Make a double crochet in the front square. Pull up your loop, grab your hook out of it and insert your hook in the next stitch from your back square. Place the loop back on your hook and pull it through. And then make a double in the front. And that's how we're going to attach all of our squares together horizontally. And when you attach all the squares like this, then you need to attach the squares vertically also. And that is the next step that I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you now how to attach the squares or the joining border from here. In this case made with yellow. And by joining our squares we've made after the corners a chain 1 and then jump over to our next 2 squares. Now we're going to crochet in that joining row without making chain stitches. So just start joining your squares like you did on this way by joining your squares. Just do the same thing for this side of your squares, and when you're at the joining row you can see, because of the chain space of the chain stitch, we've created space between our squares. But if we just make a slip stitch now of a chain stitch now and then jump over to our next squares, we've got a hole, a gap in this joining cross. So I don't like that, and that's why I've decided to make also 2 joining double crochets in our joining border here. If you look at your work, here are the double crochets standing upwards, and here is your double crochet lying flat. This is the last joining double crochet from this row, and if you look closely you see here the stitch. So here on this side you see the stitch opening, and on this side you see the legs attached to this chain space from the next square. Here in the stitch we're going to make a double crochet, then join it on this side at the back, and then we make a double crochet here in the legs from the double crochet and join them also in the next double crochet on the back side. So first here in that space, the stitch space, make a double crochet, and it's a little difficult to do this because there's a lot happening here with stitches. But when you make your first double crochet here, then again pull up a loop, get your crochet hook out of it, and jump over to the back, and then you see here the first double crochet, and just insert your hook here in, it's really hard to see, but just take your time searching. Here is the stitch, so insert in there, flip your hook back to the front, place the loop back on your hook by tightening it, and pull it through. That's our first double crochet made. Then a double crochet here in the legs of the horizontal double crochet from joining. So in here, just make a double crochet in there, pull up a loop, and go back to the back, and here you see the chain space, and here are the legs of the double crochet. Insert in the legs, place the loop back on your hook, tighten it, and pull it through. Now you've made 2 double crochets here in the crossing point also, so there would be no opening in between. And now you can jump over to the next squares. So in this chain space from your square, make a double crochet, pull up your loop, insert in the back square chain space, place the loop back on your hook, and pull it through. And then continue making a double crochets in the front square, pull up your loop, insert your hook in the back square to join, and continue doing this for all the other remaining sides of your squares. Time for the big border all around our blanket, and in this first row around the blanket I am using the same color as that I used for my joining of my squares. By using the same color as the joining or border, I'm making a nice lining around my blanket, so all my squares will pop up a little bit, and yeah, it makes it more equal with the rest of the blanket. So place your yarn on your hook with a slip knot and attach it in a chain corner space by insert in the hook or in the corner and make a slip knot in that corner, and then chain 2, which is your first half double crochet, and I am making sure that I can work over my yarn tail, and in the same corner space another half double crochet, followed by a chain 2, and then in the same space 2 half double crochets. Skip the first stitch, and in the next stitch and all the stitches across, half double crochet. So in each and every stitch you come across, you make a half double crochet, and I'm also working over my yarn tail at the back. So just make sure you do half doubles in every stitch across, and when you're coming at this point, you have your chain spaces here and your joining border here. In the chain spaces you make also a half double crochet. On your joining border also a half double crochet, and in the next chain space also a half double crochet. And in those spaces here, after your joining, don't skip a stitch. You're only skipping a stitch here in the corners of your blanket. When you made a corner here, then you skip the first stitch and then crochet in each and every stitch you come around. In the chain space, I have double, joining, I have double, the next chain space, I have double, and then in each stitch you come across, I have double crochet. So do that all around your blanket. I'm gonna do that also, and I'll be back for the next row. The next row is all that we can do for the rest of the border, namely the linen stitch. I love that stitch for borders, so I just show you the start of the linen stitch, and after that you can repeat the whole process every row again, over and over and over and over again, for just as many repeats as you like for this blanket. So take your next color, place it on your hook, and start in any corner. And start with a standing single crochet, then followed by a chain 2, and in that same chain space, that corner, make another single crochet. This is your new corner. Then chain 1, skip the first stitch, which might be a little bit hidden, but skip that one, and in the next stitch a single crochet, followed by a chain 1, skip one, and in the next a single crochet. And that's all we're going to do. Just chain 1, skip a stitch, and in the next single crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, in the single, or in the next a single crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, and in the next single crochet. And that is what we're going to repeat all around. In the corner you make a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet to make a new corner, then chain 1, skip stitch, single crochet, chain 1, skip stitch, single crochet, all around. And this row you're going to repeat as many times as you like. I am using all the colors in my blanket, or at least the border rows of the squares, which are 7 different colors. 1, 2, 3, and all the other colors, because the yellow, the gray, and the black are coming back in my blanket as well. And I'm just gonna repeat that as long as I think is good. It looks good. You can make it as big as you want, and every new row you start in a corner by attaching your yarn with a standing single crochet, followed by chain 2 and a single crochet in the same corner space, chain 1, skip the single and make a single crochet in the chain space. Chain 1, skip the single crochet and make a single crochet in the chain 1 space, and repeat that all around for as long as you want, with as much colors as you want. Just go completely crazy by making this border. I really love the linen stitch in a border or on what else projects I've got, but I am really addicted to the linen stitch. So yeah, that would make a lovely border for this blanket. And that's it. The tutorial for the Granny on Terrazzo blanket. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope my tutorial was clear enough for you to follow. And if you make your blanket, I would love to see all your versions. I have my YouTube community here on my channel, so feel free to share your pictures in there. If you have social media, Instagram or Facebook, feel free to tag me in there at Mike's Creatieve Wereld or hashtag Mike's Creatieve Wereld, so that I can see your beautiful blankets. And yeah, I'm gonna enjoy my own blanket, my Granny on Terrazzo blanket. I really enjoy making this blanket, and I hope that you all gonna enjoy it too. So let's have so much fun making this blanket. And yeah, thank you for watching. Enjoy making yours, and let's see each other in the next one. So thank you for watching. Happy crocheting, and to the next. Bye.